Hey everybody, um, Dave again. Going on to the next video here. Uh, this one's going to be about denial, the divorce that I don't feel like it's over. There's still a chance, denial that it's over, but forcing myself to move forward. I I still, it's very little. When I planned on making this video, I was still, 20% chance, 30% chance of this still working, I'm down to like 5% chance. I just probably less. It's not going to happen. But I realize that this part of it of healing can last months, possibly even years, for some people. And I'm sorry. I hate it. It's only been 3.5 weeks for me, and I'm moving through the stages pretty quickly. There's still a lot of sadness and a lot of loneliness, but I want to go over what some of the factors were in my situation, and then what they might be in a normal situation. In my situation, my soon-to-be ex-wife had a lot of mental conditions. It's honestly kind of amazing that we lasted as long as we did. I think a lot of that has to do with my emotional intelligence, I guess you would say. Of course, she says that I have low emotional intelligence, but I stayed with somebody for nearly 18 years that had bipolar 2, borderline personality disorder, depression, suicidal tendencies, hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. That's most of them. And so in my head, for at least the last few weeks, it was, oh, she's in an episode. She's having an episode. Hopefully she'll get over it and she'll, I'm not seeing that happening. Um, I still think she might be in an episode, but I think she's combined that with other decisions and other things that are reinforcing herself. I think she's surrounded herself with new people that are supporting her in this because I don't, most of the her older acquaintances and family and friends are not really supporting her that much. She's living with her dad, and that happens. A lot of people live with their family members. They'll find at least one that they can stay with, and that's nice for them. But it's almost an enabling effect. So okay, so that's my thing. That's why I've held on, for a while. Um, I feel like that she's not thinking straight, and maybe she is. Maybe her thing was, I can't be happy with you. I need to be out alone. And of course, she's already with somebody else, so that was a lie. Um, yeah, sorry. There's some dead air there. So in a normal situation, you can have denial. She may a normal-ish. Normal's hard. That's a hard sell. Who's normal, right? Really, who? Almost nobody. So what I'm saying is, if there were no heavy medical issues in play, I think I could totally see there being some back and forth, and the denial could be very much stronger. With mine, it's like I know not. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on in this person's head right now. Um, well, I say that, but like I said, I've been with this person for almost 18 years. We were married for 3 years and then got divorced, and then she got diagnosed, and she took a lot of treatment and medication, and then came back. And I forgave her for some of the bad things that she did. We got back together for 15 years. And then she did it again at the same time of year. She just changed doctors. She just changed medications. And then 2 weeks later, boom. So anyway, regardless, I'm getting away from the whole point of this. There's lots of reasons to be in denial, and it's really not going to do us any good. The chances that, especially in a second divorce with the same person, is almost unheard of. Um, that's got to be a tiny, tiny factor. But the chances that it happens that you get back together twice is nil. I mean, it's probably less than 1%. I don't even know why I'm thinking that this whole 5% thing, but I just still feel like there's hope. I'm afraid that eventually she will come down from this high that she's on and crash, maybe, and possibly try to commit suicide again, especially after the court custody and things like that. So that was a long run, I think, for me. The 15 years after we reconciled, was like I thought, well, we've passed it. We've got through the hard part. We've learned each other. We have issues. We never yelled at each other. There was no hate, at least for me. I think with her BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, that was hard over the years because I feel like she did. There were times where she could just turn off love and turn on hate, and I'm just like, what? That doesn't. I don't think like that. So that was weird. Such a long run, and like I said, I'm 46 now. She's 38, 30. Yeah, she's 38 because I'll be 37, 47 here shortly. Um, I tried the night she told me, I said, can we try going to therapy more, more intensive once a week or something like that, or at least talk about, nope, I've made my decision. This is happening. Okay. So then, a week or so later, uh, the day before she said she was going to go to the lawyer, go to have a consult lawyer. I said, look, I know you're supposed to see the lawyer today. I just want to say again, I don't want this to happen. I'm willing to try stuff. We can talk about it. We can go to therapy. We can possibly try an extended separation, trial separation, which from what I hear rarely works. Most of the time people go out and find that they're just, they were fine leaving. So that didn't work. Um, and then the next week or week after, I can't, was Mother's Day. I did a quick video on that. Just respect her, even if you hate her. She's still the mother of your kids. But I sent her a Mother's Day card, and I put a handwritten letter in there that said, I love you still, and I'm sorry that you couldn't be happy with me, but I realized that it's not me, that it's not something else that makes you happy. I can't make her happy. You can't make anybody happy. You can be who you are, and they can be happy being with you, or they're not. And my therapist said, if she doesn't have the will to be with you, to stay with you, then there's no point. There's no. It's almost like just there's no love. Like she, her excuse was, we've just grown differently over the year, which is the whole we've grown apart, that sort of thing. So, like I said, I tried a few things. I wasn't being pushy. I haven't tried to text her. I haven't tried to talk to her. She's doing her own thing. I don't think she wants to talk to me. I would love to. I told her previously, it's like I have a million things I could say, but if you don't want to hear them, I'm not going to say them. So, uh, you know, all it would do at this point, I think, is feed her rage. I don't know if it's rage or hatred, but I know I'm almost sure that she's doing the thing that a lot of people do, where she's telling her friends all the bad things. Which they couldn't have been that bad. Like I'm not grandpa. I'm a great guy. So this is she's telling them all this bad stuff and not telling them how I loved and supported her through bipolar and infidelity and theft and uh, those periods where she could just turn off love and turn on hate and for no reason, because that's bipolar, that's BPD. And I had to take those little sections and put them in boxes. I'm going to go over that a lot more in some other videos, and I'm sure those will get a lot more hits. The bipolar and BPD and living with somebody and what you can take. So yeah, so she's not budging. I'm working my way out of denial, and it sucks. Uh, she's not budging. She don't want to talk about anything other than coming and getting her shit and what's coming up with the lawyers. She doesn't want any kind of reasoning. So it's really kind of the worst part for me is there's no closure. I don't know, like the reasons that she gave were convoluted. Um, they were different. Like each time, she said something two or three times, and each time it was like kind of different. She says, "Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to go to school and be a therapist." I'm like, "That's great. Like you could have already done that. You could do that." I supported her through everything she wanted to do. The only thing that you could say would have been me holding her back would have been that I said, "Well, let's try to save up some money first, so that we're not just going into total debt, and then and for whatever reasons, usually she wasn't able to save any money. She's had a lot of problems with jobs over the years. I've supported this for 20 years on those. So yeah, I talked to her last week and I asked her, "Hey, you haven't filed yet. I haven't got anything in the mail from a lawyer or anything. Have you for 3 months?" That Archer. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'll trim that out. And I said, "Okay, well then I will." I mean, I don't want to do any of this. I don't. I don't want to do it. But she's out there going and doing whatever the hell she wants. And just she's barely picked up anything from the house. She's doing whatever she wants. Probably telling people that I'm some kind of a terrible person, which I am not. And everybody that knows me knows it. Everybody that knows me says I'm a damn saint for staying in this relationship. Um, and they don't even know everything that I've gone through, you know. Um, so I'm filing. Um, it seems like I always come up with something that's the hardest thing I've ever done. Yesterday, the lawyer contacted me and he said, "I need you to fill out this form why you should be should have custody of your son instead of her." And I didn't want it to come to this, but we had an impasse in the pre negotiations of custody, and she just didn't. She refused to have me with a stipulation that if either one of us went into the hospital for mental illness or we lost our job, if either one of us went into the hospital for any mental illness or if we lost our job for 3 months, that our child would immediately go to the other parent for no less than 12 months. She refused that. And I said, "Well, that kind of tells me that you think it's going to happen. And if you think it's going to happen or could happen, then that's a problem." So like, you know what I mean? It's like you're proving a negative with proving a positive with a negative. So that's where that is. This video is getting too long. I'm gonna let it go. Hardly anybody's gonna listen to it this long. So the next one, I'm gonna do a video on divorce with kids' needs and child's needs. And honestly, I think it makes everything harder. It's not the kid's fault. I'm not saying that the kids make it harder. I'm saying when you have to do that, when I had to bring up the mental illness and the job situation, and I never wanted to have to bring up why my ex-wife, whom I still love, is not capable. That's rough because I've spent 17, 18 years helping her be capable and supporting her when she wasn't. And it makes me sad to know that knowing her better than anybody else, I don't think she's capable of it. I think she's very capable most of the time. But if 30% of the time she can't, I mean, you can't you can't just not raise your kid, You can't just lay on the couch and cry for 3 days when you have a child to take care of. So anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for listening. I'll try to make the next one shorter. I'll try to get some more shorts out there. People seem to like the shorts more. It probably just rotates through. Hope you're having a good day. If you're not, I I hope you will. I'm not gonna say I pray for you. I don't believe in that. I'm sorry, but have a good day anyway. All right.